Hey friends, in the Old Testament, we find the famous and incredible story of how the Israelites were miraculously freed by God from captivity in Egypt. But this story turns tragic when the nation of Israel ends up rejecting the good promised land that the Lord had prepared for them. After Moses sends 12 spies into Canaan to bring back a report on the promised land, only 2 of the men, Joshua and Caleb, bring a positive report, and the other 10 bring negative reports. While these men acknowledge the good things about the land, the soil, the climate, and the crops, they focus mainly on the hardships, the current armies with soldiers from 7 to 9 feet tall that they would have to defeat in order to fully acquire this promised land. The positive report from Joshua and Caleb stands in stark contrast to the other negative report. They said, "It is a good land, which the Lord our God is about to give us." Notice the confidence from which Joshua and Caleb speak. These 12 men all saw the same exact thing, the same evidence. Joshua and Caleb weren't privileged to see the good parts of the promised land, while the other 10 saw the negative parts. They all saw the same land. But for those 10 men, their negativity, their fear impacted what they saw. So let's say 2 different people are getting ready to board a plane. One of them is afraid of turbulence and the prospect of being 40,000 feet in the air. And the other person has confidence in the safety of the aircraft and the expertise of the pilots and crew. Both individuals are looking at the same exact plane, the same exact experience, but one person's vision is being distorted by fear. The Bible encourages us and reminds us that God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. So let's look one more time at Joshua and Caleb's perspective of the promised land. It is a good land, which the Lord our God is about to give us. They had complete confidence in their pilot. They knew that their plane was not going down. So in what areas of our lives are we allowing fear to distort what we see? I know this is a wake-up call for me in my life. I can find myself looking at the same exact situation that is facing others, but I am the one viewing it negatively and experiencing it fearfully. So let's be encouraged and reminded today that Joshua and Caleb saw the same imposing armies, the same giants that their fellow Israelites saw. But they viewed those giants through the lens of a mighty God who miraculously freed them from captivity, through the lens of a mighty God who promised to be with them and who would fight for them in the promised land. So today, resist the distortion that fear brings into our minds. Let's be reminded what God has done for us in our lives, what He has saved us from, the miracles that we've seen, and how He will never leave us or forsake us, and that His promised land for each of us is ready and secure. So let's go in with faith and fight for it.